All right, boys and girls, this is journal page 356, section 15.2, which is the volume of cones. Volume of a cone equals 1/3 base times height, because it's just a circular pyramid. So it looks familiar when we were doing pyramids, which is volume 1/3, and the base is always a circle, so this will be pi r squared times height. Number one, volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times height. And we plug in whatever they give us here, and they gave us the height is 4. The radius, they give us the diameter of 12, so the radius is 6, and we know 6 squared is 36 pi 1/3. Well, 1/3 of 36 is 12. And 12 times 4 is 48. So 48 pi, don't forget the pi. Volume is 48 pi meters cubed, because it's volume. Number two. Start by writing that formula down again. Yes, you have to write it down again. Pi r squared h. All right. Well, this time the height is 11. The radius they gave us is 3, and we know 3 squared is 9. Pi 1/3. Well, 1/3 of 9 is 3, and 3 times 11 is 33. 33 pi feet cubed. Number 3. Volume equals 1/3 times pi r squared times h. Well, the height here is 10. The radius is going to be 3.5, because the diameter is 7. So 3.5 squared pi 1/3. Well, 3.5 squared, I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to work it out over here. 3.5 times 3.5, 25, 15, 16, 17, 0, 15, 9, 10, 5, 12, 2, 1, 2 spots behind the decimal, 2 spots behind the decimal, 12.25. And so now, and we're going to have 1/3 pi 12.25 10, and 12.25 times 10 is going to be 122.5. So now here's what I have 122.5 pi, and I need to divide that by 3. Divided by 3. Well, in order to get rid of this decimal up here, I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 10, which now I'm going to put an equal sign here, but it's kind of going to jump over this problem and go over here. 1,225 pi over 30. I multiply top and bottom by 10 to get rid of that decimal. And now I see I can divide by 5. It ends in a 5, and that ends in a 0. Which will give me 245 pi over 6 centimeters cubed. Number 4. Now we're finding the missing dimension, and in both cases it's going to be the height. So we start off the exact same way. Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared height. Plug in what we know. This time we know the volume is 300 pi. Don't forget the pi, and we only are putting that because they gave it to us in the problem. 1/3 pi. Radius here is 12. We know 12 squared is 144. 144 h. So lots of things over here we got to get rid of. I'm going to divide both sides by pi right away, because then both of these pi's disappeared. Okay, I divided by pi. I divided this side by pi. And now I have 300 equals 1/3 of 144. So 144 divided by 3 would be 48. 48. And H. 3 goes into 14. 4 times with 2 left over, 24, 8. Yeah, 48. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 48. And H equals 300 over 48. Divide top and bottom by 2. I get 150 over 24. Divide by 2 again. I get 75 over 12. I can divide by 3. 25 over 4. 25 fourths. I could simplify that into or make it into a mixed number. 4 goes into 25 6 times with 1 left over, so 6 1/4 millimeter for the height. Now, this says round your nearest answer to the 10th, so if you went decimal, you wouldn't put 6.25 because to the nearest 10th it'd be 6.3, but if you stay in fraction, you can just leave it 6 1/4 millimeter. It's just a height, so it's just millimeters. It's not squared or cubed. Number 5. Here we have volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. They give us the volume again. 78.5 equals 1/3 pi. They give us the radius. Well, the diameter is 10, so the radius is 5. And 5 squared is 25 times h. Now, instead of dividing 25 by 3, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of this 1/3. So times 3 times 3. 1/3 times 3 is just 1. So now I have 25 pi times h on this side. And over here, 78.5 times 3. 78.5 times 3. 15, 24, 25, 21, 23. One spot behind the decimal, one spot. 235.5. 235.5. Divide both sides by 25 pi. And h equals 235.5 over 25 pi. Now I've got a decimal up here in my fraction, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 10 to make this 2355 over 250 pi. Divide top and bottom by 5. On the bottom, that'll give me 50 pi. And on the top, 5 goes in here, 4, 7, 1. And then the units would be, it's just a height, so it's just centimeters. And finally, the last one, I might be able to squeeze it in on here, but I got plenty of paper, so I'm going to do it on this piece of paper. Number 6, what's the volume of this catch and click zone? Or catch and click cone? Volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. The height is 7. The radius is 2. They give us the diameter here, so the radius is 2. 2 squared is 4 pi 1/3 volume. Okay. Well, 4 times 7 is 28, so 28 pi. 1/3 times 28 pi. Multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3, so I'm just going to put volume equals 28 pi divided by 3 inches cubed. Awesome. Well, if you have any more questions about this, tutoring, ask questions in class. We will see you tomorrow.